button.
What are you trying to do?
Change my dashboard. I was pressing the horn instead.
That's brilliant. Okay, so are we on the M25?
Yes, junction 14.
We're on the road to hell. The M25 just goes round the big circle.
No.
What?
If you say that, we'll end up in a big traffic jam.
Oh no, don't jinx it. Don't jinx it.
Absolutely.
So, hello everyone, I'm Graham Hughes. This is Kieran the Van Man, and he has been absolutely brilliant against the whole Brexit campaign.
Mystic Meg.
Everything that he predicted has come to pass, especially these big fuck off queues in Dover. We are heading there now. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to get there before it gets dark, so it might be a bit dark and spooky by the time we get there. People are saying hello, both of you. Mad Monk, hiya. Where are we? We're on the M25, and then we're going to get off this, and we're going to get on the M20, and then we're going to head to the A20.
Where they've turned the cameras off.
So
you can't see the traffic.
And then we'll be getting on the ferry to Calais, maybe tonight, I hope. Do you reckon we'll get on tonight?
Yeah, late.
Late? How late? Like midnight, 1 o'clock, something like that?
Probably.
Okay. We're going to go across. It takes about an hour to do the crossing.
90 minutes.
90 minutes.
You're a bit rusty.
Oh, well, the last time I got the ferry was with Adam Lee, and we went to Luxembourg. That's where we went.
Of course.
Yeah.
And Graham's looking forward to getting his passport stamped to Calais. A French passport stamp.
Hurrah! Just what I've always wanted.
All the stamps around the world, and you end up with one for Calais.
Literally got hundreds of stamps
if that
in the
is,
passport. Never really wanted one for France.
If that's like a massive turd down the Swanee, it doesn't come as big as that, does it? I've got a stamp in my passport in Calais. Yeah.
So Kieran, at the moment the government's claiming, right, that these queues that are accumulating down in Dover are caused by the fact that a ferry is getting refurbished. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being like the God's honest truth and 10 being the biggest porky pie that Boris Johnson's ever told, where does that sort of rate on the lie scale?
Oh, you mean the missing ferry?
Yeah, the missing ferry. There's a ferry that's been taken offline.
If it was such a big problem, I think the Port of Dover and everybody would have been emphasising there's a ferry missing.
Right.
But they haven't.
So what's the hold up then? Why are people being stuck for 4 days in a ferry garage?
Brexit customs.
Oh.
Yep. Something I said would happen. And they're stuck there because the traffic that comes in and goes out now has to go to customs. If you're called into customs coming into the UK, you have to go to the same place as where someone's collecting their paperwork to leave.
Right.
850 spaces.
And that's the Farage Garage?
That's the Farage Garage, has 850 spaces.
There's only 1 for Dover?
There's 3, but the other 2 only hold 500, and the trucks are always parked there for the night sleeping, which we'll see later.
Okay.
And you can never get into it. So 5,000 trucks a day coming in and out, 10,000 in total, 5,000 each way, 850 spaces.
Okay, that's not optimal.
No, it's 1/10.
Oh my god. So you're saying that this thing about it being the queues are being caused by a ferry being offline is a big porcupine, yeah?
It wouldn't put trucks out onto the A20 queuing for 8 to 10 hours to get over. No, it would put more trucks inside the port.
Yeah.
But P&O and DFDS are sharing ferries at the moment on an agreement.
Yeah.
So if one's busy or one's half empty, you get on one or the other. I've done it myself, and a ferry carries 180 trucks. And as you'll see on the board later for the customs in Calais, every truck number comes up.
Board at the border?
No, there's a TV screen.
Okay.
On the boat.
Yeah.
And it has every truck number. And if it's green, you can go. If it's orange, you go to customs. And it tells you how many trucks are obviously on the ferry. Yeah. And there's only an average of about 90, so they're half full. Yeah. So the whole myth about the massive queues because of a ferry are a bit of a myth, because why are those ferries leaving half empty? Because the trucks can't simply get in time because the ferries have to leave on a schedule. Because otherwise you end up with problems in Calais for the ferry returning back to the UK. So if there's not enough trucks in the actual terminal, because they're all stuck on the other side, trying to get in to do their customs paperwork, which is processed by civilian staff, where you get your check-in ticket to cross. Michael Gove's 50,000 customs agents.
So they're not using new customs agents, they're just using the ferry staff?
At no extra cost.
You mean at no extra, they're not getting a wage increase?
No, nothing.
Oh my God, someone's saying, we've got a message here from Mark saying, I've heard the ferries are leaving half empty. Is that true?
They were when I was on them 10 days ago. There was 90 trucks on it out of 180.
And that's because they just don't have the time, they've just got to go.
Well, they have to go, otherwise you can't get too delayed. You can delay a ferry by 5-10 minutes. You can't sit there for an extra hour and a half, because otherwise you just end up with gridlock on the other side.
Oh my God, it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
Brexit is causing this. It's almost as if the British government is, dare I say it, telling a fib. Yes, that's right. Who's that? Donovan.
Great surname.
Don Donovan. Hey, David, where does Kylie get her kebabs? From Jason's Donovan.
That's so old.
I thought it was funny. Anyway, so
it was 40 years ago at school. 30 years ago. 3 decades. Anyway, we are going to see a big queue on the A20. I can predict it. I predicted it yesterday. I put it on Twitter. I predicted it last week, every Monday to Thursday, but it was there on Friday and Saturday as well, which is very, very surprising, because you don't normally get queues on the weekend because trucks don't travel.
Right.
So to have them, it means a lot of them putting off their journeys, thinking it'd be quiet, when in fact it's not. So we're going down, we'll end up on the A20, we will see a queue of trucks.
Yeah.
They're sitting there now after they've spent hours and hours, or if not days, at the inland border facility,
so they've been
collecting their customs
the
paper.
Farage garage for days, 8 hours to 4 days. As we saw, there's a Byline video, that Byline TV video that just went up a few hours ago. It's really worth checking out. They went to one of the Farage garages and they interviewed the drivers who were waiting there and asked them how long they've been waiting. Has Comical Ali been employed by the UK government?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. There are no traffic jams.
No traffic jams.
Don't panic.
No one. Baghdad is not surrounded.
Absolutely.
It's all a myth.
Yes.
We're winning. We're winning. Evening, chap, says John O'Sullivan. Hello.
Hi.
Do the queuing trucks leave their engines running, e.g. for refrigeration? Asks Mark.
Some leave them running, some don't. The fridges run off a separate diesel tank. What's more interesting is the smaller vehicles. One of my friends went out yesterday. He passed me going into Dover. He's got a Sprinter van with urgent medical stuff on board on a refrigerated Sprinter van. And the compressor, without sounding too dweeby, is run off the engine. So you can't switch the engine off. So you have to leave it running. He managed to get over the queue, but then he got stuck in the buffer zone where you're there with the general population. So if you've got urgent medical equipment or tablets or anything that's running at a certain temperature, it will get to the buffer zone and it will sit there with everybody else. And you have to leave the engine running. Pollution.
Yeah, the pollution is going to be absolutely insane.
Yep. Because Calais, all the engines are running when I went in to it last week.
Well, my experience of crossing borders on the Odyssey expedition to every country in the world, every time there's a queue of lorries, whether it was in Africa or South America or in the Middle East, the engines were always running, generally to keep the cab cool or warm. Depending on.
Can you imagine it in the summer when it's 30 degrees outside?
Everyone's got their air conditioning on.
You have to have the air conditioning on, so therefore every engine will be running. In the winter, because they've got diesel heaters, some of them have the engine off. But yesterday when I drove past it, half the trucks, they were asleep in their cabs.
Wow.
You know, because they've been waiting there so long, they've fallen asleep. They've left huge gaps. The trucks behind can't get past because they're stuck behind some poor guy that's sleeping.
Well, we saw that on the road. There's truck drivers asleep in their cabs on the road, aren't there? And that's why there's a big gap, because they're asleep.
That's why when you see a big gap, that's because they're sleeping.
And there's another thing as well that Kieran was telling me just before we got in the van. There's no toilet facilities.
Nothing.
There's no portaloos.
No.
So where do you think they're going?
In Calais last week, when I came in, when it took me 8 hours to get into the lanes, and then I had a 4-hour wait for the ferry, I was absolutely bursting for the loo. And there's nowhere to go. There's nothing. You're in real trouble.
Yeah.
So on a daytime, if anyone wants to go down the A20 and look on the hard shoulder and in the grass verges, you'll see lots of bottles of urine and bags.
Horrible.
And I dread to think what's in the bags. Seriously, there's loads.
So plastic bags with shit in it.
Well, of course, absolutely.
So the government, this Tory bastard government, has filled our rivers up full of effluent.
Yep.
All the fish off the North Yorkshire coast are dead for 3 miles off the coast.
Yep.
And now they're making it so.
You know why that is, though? That's because they can't get the chemicals.
I thought that was. Oh, you mean why they're pumping the raw sewage into the waters? Yeah, they can't get the.
They can't get the chemicals into the country
because of Brexit.
I used to have an ADR license and transport hazardous things.
Do you not have one anymore?
No, it expired.
What does ADR stand for? I thought that was.
It's French. Don't ask me to pronounce it.
Okay.
The carriage of dangerous goods.
Ah, okay.
Classes 1 to 9. Class 1 being fireworks and explosives. To class 9 being miscellaneous things like printing ink. I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to hazardous things. But yeah, on a serious note, they're having all sorts of issues getting hazardous stuff into the UK.
How is printing ink hazardous, except for the extreme cost of it?
To the marine environment.
Oh.
So when you see a sticker with an upside down fish on it on the back of a truck, that means it's a pollutant.
Ah, right.
And it'll have a 9 next to it with 3 black lines on a hazard triangle. Right. So you're learning new things.
Yeah. I know that one with the fish upside down. Yeah,
marine pollutant.
A marine pollutant.
Yeah.
God, it's enough in this government can't wreck. They're just wreckers, aren't they? They can't think of anything.
On a serious note, it's soul destroying now doing the job. I do not charge my waiting time to sit for anywhere from 4 hours to 10 hours. It's free. I don't charge, and that's that in and out.
Yeah.
I've done 3 jobs this January, and each one's taken me an average of 15 to 20 hours extra on my job. So a trip to Paris takes 3 days. So that's almost your working week on one job.
So how long did a trip to Paris used to take?
7 hours. London to Paris.
And now it takes 3 days.
That there and back. So you could do London to Paris and back. So if you left at 9 o'clock on a Monday morning, you'd be back at 9 o'clock on a Tuesday morning.
Okay, so 24 hours.
24 hours.
There and back, yeah?
Yeah.
And now it's 3 days.
It's 2.5 to 3 days.
Because of Brexit.
Because of Brexit.
Because we pulled out of the most successful trading bloc in human history.
And let us not be under any influence that COVID might be to blame, because we don't need a COVID test to leave the UK.
Oh.
We don't need to show anything. We don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
So on that point, COVID is in. The reason we're seeing the jams now. This is now post-COVID traffic starting to return to how it used to be.
Yeah.
Which is why we're seeing the problems. So.
Well, also the new regulations came in on the 1st. Is it just me, or is the video just ahead of the sound? It might be. That's a problem we sometimes have with live videos, where it doesn't sync up very well. So I'm very sorry about that if we're looking like we're dubbed. But from what I can see on my streamer from my phone, it does look like my phone's kind of struggling a little bit to keep up with the bit rate, whatever. But yeah, thank you very much, Charlie, for the £2 super chat. And just want to say, if anyone wants to drop in some super chats for Kieran and I, we will spend it on beer or coffee or whatever we need, pizza. We're going to get some food on the ferry, aren't we?
Yeah.
What's proper truckers delight? What are we having?
Fish and chips.
Fish and chips, excellent. So if you want to,
I think it's French fish though.
Ooh la la!
All the English fish are happy swimming around in the effluent.
Well, yeah. Probably the Freudian slip. Yeah, so if anyone wants to drop in some money into the super chat. Would really appreciate it, because obviously, you know, I've come down this morning on the megabus overnight. It was full. There was no spaces on board. It was absolutely roasting hot. And every time the bus stopped somewhere, so when it stopped in Sunderland, when it stopped in Hartlepool, when it stopped in Leeds, when it stopped in Sheffield, they turned the bastard lights on full blast.
You went to Sunderland?
It was like the sun shining into my eyes, you know. Well, it's next door to Newcastle. I came from Newcastle.
Ah, of course it is, yeah.
It was actually the Edinburgh bus. It was the bus that from Edinburgh to London. But you know what? You're sitting there, you're uncomfortable, you're all a bit achy because you've been sleeping in a funny position. You've been woken up in the middle of the night 7 times. But it only costs a tenner. So you think, well, it's only a tenner.
You spoke too soon.
Queue after junction. We just saw a sign saying queue after junction. How far away are we from the M20?
From the M20?
Yeah.
40 miles.
Right. Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, we got another super chat. Yay, thank you. That's from Freud Sigmund 72. Thank you very much, Freud. Do you know what a Freudian slip is?
I've heard of it.
It's when you say one thing, but you mean my mother. Another. Right, thanks very much, Freud, for that. The megabus. Yes, it's not mega, but it is a bus. I'll give them that.
Does it still cost £1?
No, it's £10 now. Bloody Brexit for you, eh?
Used to be £1.
Yeah, if you get like a special discount, if you get your ticket
So
a few
you
weeks
sit in the toilet?
advance. No, you just get your ticket a few weeks in advance. I don't know if they do that anymore. I don't think they offer it. But they were following like the EasyJet model, weren't they? Of just like every seat had to be taken, which makes sense, really. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, why transport an empty bus? Why transport a half-empty plane?
True.
Anyway, you may as well just sell all the seats. Gigabus. Yeah, let's set up a rival called the Gigabus, with less grumpy drivers. I remember the £1 days vaguely, but it was never £1. It was £1 plus the 50p booking fee. So just to be clear, it was yeah.
But it was the megabus.
It was the megabus.
I remember. So I never travelled for £1. I remember seeing it. I haven't been on a bus for years.
There's a
I wouldn't even know how to buy a
ticket.
ticket for a bus.
You got to do it online. You can't actually just get on the bus and pay some money like you used to. Nick and Diff saying £1 one way, £32 back with megabus. Yeah, they sometimes did that.
Now the train's done that as well.
Yeah.
Used to get a £1 return, but you had to pay full price for the go one.
Well, that's what they do. I mean, if I get a single ticket to London from Durham, it's like £149.
It's crazy.
And if I get a return, it's £150.
Yeah.
It's like £1 more for the
It's
return.
still a crazy amount of money.
I know, it's insane. That's like a 2 weeks' wages for most people in this country.
Yeah.
In real terms. Will you be doing a tour of Ashford as well? I don't know. Mark's asking what percentage of the drivers are EU drivers. I assume he means the ones that are queuing up.
Most. At least probably 90%. Yeah, you rarely see UK vehicles now.
Do you have mates who are just giving up? Have you got friends who are HGV drivers or courier drivers
That have given up?
that are giving up already? Or?
Yeah, I know a few people that don't do it anymore.
And is it because of this? Is it because it's just like more
They
hassle
couldn't be
for it?
hassled with the paperwork. A lot of people just don't know how to do it or get to grips with it. So, you before Brexit, when you used to drive to Switzerland or Norway, you had to do customs. So it sort of gave you, and that's how I got all my knowledge, just from doing Switzerland and Norway.
Well, didn't you go to Switzerland with some Tory MP or something?
Oh, the Tory from Dover.
Was that the one who got done for sex offences?
No, it wasn't an MP. No. His name was Peter. He was actually a nice guy. He was one of a conglomerate that wanted to buy Dover port because it's obviously private. He's a businessman, and he's proper pro-Brexit. Yeah. And when we took him there, all he said to me was, all my mates are going to think that you brainwashed me into thinking it was a mistake, but you haven't, because I can see how much of a disaster it is. It's like, yeah.
If only you could take everyone in your van
show them,
to
absolutely.
Switzerland.
Yeah, guided coach. That's actually a business opportunity.
Guided coach tours. No, but it's pointless now because you go to Switzerland. It's probably easier to get to Switzerland now than to get out of the UK.
Well, you've still got to transit France to get to Switzerland.
Ford Oak has dropped in 100 Swedish krona. Thank you very much, Ford Oak. Really appreciate that. We now have 100 Swedish krona.
Happy days.
Should we go to Sweden and get some more stinky fish?
It's still in my fridge.
Oh, you've still got some?
Do you want it?
Oh yeah,
I've got 2 cans left. It's expanded. It's really bad.
Let's make a leaving cake for Boris Johnson.
Oh, we'll do something with it.
Sturströmming. Do you know what though? I mean, if we tried to do that again, you know, sort of stink bombing an event.
Did it smell?
Rank, mate.
Was it bad?
It was horrific.
Was it?
It was so bad. It was just wrong. But the guy I was doing it, well, one of the guys I was doing it with, he was a paramedic, so he was kind of used to sort of stuff that smelt of death, for one reason or another. But yeah, it was just the worst smelling thing I could imagine. Very satisfying though to take it out. We didn't throw it. We didn't throw it at anyone. We just dropped it on the floor.
Did I buy it in Brussels or Antwerp? I thought I bought it in Antwerp.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I mean, the type of people who are, because this was at the Brexit party on the 31st of January 2020 when they were celebrating the end of the UK's membership of the EU.
Yeah, but what were they celebrating?
Sovereignty. Sovereignty. And yeah, the type of people, you know, when you go to a gig, there's always those people who stand there with their arms folded and they won't move, even if you're trying to get out. You know, you're trying to get to the toilet and they're like, no, not gonna move. I've been standing here for 10 minutes, this is my spot. They were all a bit like that. So even though it absolutely reeked where we dropped this stinky fish stuff, they wouldn't move out of principle. I'm like, all right then, stay where you are. But yeah, has anyone got any other questions about the port situation? We are actually in a traffic jam at the moment, so we're probably not going to get there for a few hours.
Oh, you'll see the port in all its glory later. No one's actually done it yet. So Graham could be the first one that's actually done it inside the port.
Done the port.
Absolutely, no one's done it.
Don't tell them that we're filming.
Everyone's done it.
Yeah, well, the bylines people have gone. They went to a farage garage, which we're not doing. So hopefully, sorry, I'm messing with the camera here. Hopefully, we're not treading on the toes of bylines because they're good guys. We like them. Keep up the good work, and maybe gives a job. Gives a job. This is a great idea. two blokes in a van.
Truck.
Are we in a truck?
It's a truck.
Why is it a truck? Do you want to explain?
Because it's got double back wheels on it.
Oh. But you are Kieran, the van driver?
Yes, that's why I drive the van as well.
I didn't know that. I thought it was just a van or a lorry.
No, it's registered as a truck on the V5.
But a truck was an American word, so it's not. A truck's British as well.
The truck is British.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Kieran, beside the gammon... Beside the Brexit gammon curtain, what's the toughest border to get through in Europe? And do you reckon a border with Scotland will be easier? What's the toughest border in Europe? It's got to be Ukraine, Belarus.
Belarus for sure.
Have you ever done Belarus?
No.
I've tried to do Belarus twice.
I wouldn't
as a pedestrian, and it's just a nightmare.
I've been to Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you drive?
We was driving in Kazakhstan on the road to China.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It was 50 kilometres from the Chinese border, and I said, "Let's go to China." And it's like my missus said, "No, you can't. You need a visa."
Yeah, you do. And they wouldn't let you in a vehicle anyway. They're really funny about vehicles.
Yes, they're really strict.
But also that border is really fascinating because the whole of China is in one time zone and it's Beijing time.
Yeah.
So if you go across that border from Kazakhstan into China, you have to set your watch forward 5 hours.
5 hours, yeah.
5 hours.
5 hours.
That's insane.
But the hardest border in Europe, yeah, definitely either Poland, Ukraine, or Belarus.
Have you done Ukraine? Yeah.
I've been near there. I've never really wanted to go. I got offered a job to this. Where was the Olympics in Russia? Sochi. Yeah, I got offered a job there, and I said no thanks. Not remotely interested.
Well, I've gone over the border into Ukraine, into Moldova, into Belarus, into Russia a couple of times, and yeah, it's always been a nightmare. Really, really tough ones. Also, you need a visa. I mean, for Belarus and
talking of visas,
Russia,
of visas, all the truck drivers with UK passports also have to abide by the 90-day rule as tourists.
Oh really?
Yep.
Oh shit! So that it builds up, doesn't it, while you're
Absolutely.
over there?
Yeah.
And if you're waiting in Calais to come back, and instead of waiting for a few hours, you're waiting for a few days, that's all getting clocked up in your 90 days.
Absolutely.
Out of every 180.
Yeah, because
I didn't know it counted for if you were working as well.
Yeah, because one of my friends.
Can I turn the light on?
That doesn't work.
Oh,
that one does. That hasn't worked for months.
Can I tilt that to your face so you can like? There you go. Look, Kieran's listening.
Yeah, one of my friends went across Calais and he said, "Monsieur, your 90 days is nearly up in the passport." But sometimes they don't stamp them; they let you go through, which is a really bad thing. Because if you don't stamp it, and you
don't know when you leave,
they don't know when you
left. They don't stamp you out of America. When you leave America, they don't normally stamp you out.
When I went to New York, I can't remember. I went to New York. I can't remember.
Bloody weirdos. Makes me sick, it does. So, any other questions? I'm going to check the comments. So, I'm going to check the screen to comment. Byline TV did a good piece earlier, says number 3. Yeah, Richard, we talked about that. It's worth checking out. Found the interviews with truckers at Bylines really good. One was waiting there 4 days already. The road to hell, the M4. Well, you could argue that the road to hell is the M62 because that's the road to Hull. Indeed. Ireland has increased ferries a massive amount. Does that mean that Wales harbour jobs are?
Yes. Yeah, the Fishguard route is dead.
Have you got a flat tyre? What's that for?
No, it's the.
Is it the road?
It's the road.
Oh, for God's sake. Sort your roads out, Brit.
Do you know there's a road in Poland for about 200 miles?
Yeah.
Like that, but with gaps like that big.
Oh,
and
God.
for 200 miles you just get
bump.
Yeah, and you're literally saying, "Shut up!" I drove.
Come in.
I did it last year. I drove to Poland last year on that road, and it was like boom, 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 boom.
Jesus.
Yeah.
We've got I think a similar saying, "Yay, Graham and Kieran together at last." So the last time we did a video together, we worked out, was over 3 years ago. 3 years ago, man. Well, we were going to do something, and then Brexit bloody happened, didn't it? And then COVID has meant this is well, obviously I went to Panama, but today was my first trip to London in 2 years.
That's crazy.
That's mad, isn't it? That is mad, I tell you. It's a crazy, like a fish. There you go. Is that really distracting?
To me, no.
The lights.
No.
That's its lowest setting. That's alright, isn't it? Are you calling LBC tomorrow? I don't know. Do you want to call them?
No.
James O'Brien?
No.
They never really want to speak to us. They're like, you again. What do you want? There was a time.
We've said what's happened.
Yeah.
We've said what we warned that would happen 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's all come to fruition now, and even worse. It's actually worked out worse than what I thought it would.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would be this bad. But there's no point. I just don't think there's any point.
Also, I was jibbed out of getting a Ray Liotta on Mystery Hour a couple of weeks ago, so... So that's it. I'm never calling up again. I've never been so insulted in all my life. He says if you're the person who's written the book on a particular subject, then call in and you'll get a Ray Liotta.
Oh, is that what you got?
And then I called up to say, because someone asked how long it would take to get around the world without flying. So I said you could do it. You could do it in 31 days. Yeah, I've worked this out because I've been to every single country in the world without flying. And he's like, well done. It gives me a round of applause. And then we had the conversation about the fact he didn't give me a Ray Liotta, and I think it's just because he doesn't like me.
He didn't give you, he gave me one.
You got what? You got a Ray Liotta? Oh.
Yeah, the first ever time I phoned him. The first ever time I
There's no justice in this world.
No, he was talking about M20 roadworks. And I said the only reason the roadworks are there is because of Brexit and it's coming.
Oh wow.
And that's how everybody got to slowly understand how everything works.
Yeah.
And now I seem to have sort of got everybody out there taking pictures of traffic jams and understanding how customs work, and you know, it's quite an important thing because nobody understood it before.
No.
Why would you need to?
Well, exactly.
You know, why would you need to understand where things come from and the procedures? You don't need to know that, really.
Well, no, I mean, the thing is, the EU's weird. You're trying to explain this to people when the whole Brexit thing was going on. The EU is normal. Most countries in the world have a border. They have a queue of trucks at the border waiting to do all the fucking paperwork to get into the country.
Because there's not a single border on the planet that doesn't have the same alignment as another country.
Yeah.
That isn't a remote border. They're not remote borders. They don't exist.
Yeah.
It's the only job that a robot would never be able to do, and that is to check a vehicle.
Yeah.
And to inspect paperwork.
Yeah.
It will always be done by people, and you can't do anything else. so the things that are happening, I'm afraid to say, the things that are happening around our ports in this wonderful island are only going to get worse. And Easter and the school holidays is just going to make it so much worse. Yeah, it's not going to be pleasant. It's January. And you've got miles and miles of trucks in January.
So this is the slowest month, or the quietest month,
it's
isn't it?
dead. It's a dead month.
So everything's been brought over for Christmas, and then you got the January sales, which is getting rid of the old stock. So there's not much stuff coming over.
Nothing moves. Nothing's generally moved in January. Even going into February is generally quiet.
What's it been like in the ports? Have you got any mates working in the ports?
One of my mates used to. He doesn't work there anymore, so no. Would have been quite handy.
I might know someone who works in the port.
All you need to do is you speak to the poor person that's at the check-in desk, working for one of the ferry companies for the same price as they did before Brexit, breathing in fumes for 12 hours a day, acting as Michael Gove's customs agent, booking in the paperwork, scanning and inputting things. That is what they're doing. Michael Gove couldn't recruit 50,000 agents, so he's obviously threatened or done something to the ferry companies to make them use the staff to do it. So the staff hold the balance of power to determine what comes in and out of our ports. If they went on strike, which they could do in France quite easily, nothing would move. It would stop. It would come to a halt.
Oh, mate.
Nobody else would be able to do that job.
What are they playing at? Seriously, what are they playing at? So just to explain, someone's asked if we're going to have to queue up with the HEVs. No, we're in a van, well, we're in a truck.
Well, we're going to jump the queue on the A20.
Because
we're not supposed to, but we will.
We're not actually exporting anything from the UK. So
well, we are.
Oh yeah, pallets.
Empty crates.
Empty crates. We're exporting empty crates.
Empty crates don't need customs, they need a verbal declaration.
A verbal declaration.
Yes.
These are empty crates.
Yes. With heat stamps.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about the heat stamps.
A heat stamp has the country of origin, a number on it, which is the code, and it means it's been heated to a certain temperature to kill any insects or anything living in that wood.
So how come we didn't need that before?
Because we was in the single market.
Okay.
And we had the same alignment on goods throughout Europe.
Oh, the tarmac just changed, so it wasn't thumping.
No, no, we're back again.
Oh my god.
So basically, even if you import things from Morocco under a European agreement, they only import through certain companies that adhere to the standards that the Europeans want, right? And they will use pallets to ship the goods that are satisfied to the European regulations on the pallets that can be used in Europe. But of course, once we get our own funky trade deals with some weird countries, not saying they're weird, but you know what I mean, you could, well, how are the French supposed to know what is in a pallet or what is in the back of your vehicle once you start to get these trade deals? That's why it's so important that that useless lump of custard disappears. and before he does any more damage. The more trade deals you get, the further you diverge away from European regulations, the harder it is to ever rejoin.
I really wanted to see Boris Johnson today. Well, no, I wanted to see Steve Bray, because I thought he'd be around Parliament. So the first thing I did, I got off the bus in Victoria, walked past Buckingham Palace and went down to Parliament. Steve Bray was there, and he wasn't. So I went to number 10. Well, I went to Downing Street, and I was really hoping Steve Bray would be there. Boris Johnson would come out in his motorcade, and I could borrow Steve's megaphone and shout at him.
Absolutely. I know I'd shout it.
You wart! You canker! You syphilitic bag of custard! Fuck off! That's what I'd shout.
I hate him. Absolutely hate the man.
He's just a rotten human being. He's got no redeeming qualities at all.
No, there's nothing good about him.
If anyone knows any compulsive liars or any gaslighters, he is a gaslighter. He is a compulsive liar, and he gets away with it.
Yeah. Oh, and you can no longer import food in from Europe.
Oh yeah, so we can't bring sandwiches in, can we?
Can't take sandwiches out.
Really?
Meat and dairy, yeah, you can't take them out because they can take it off you if they decide to check. And you can't bring food in anymore. They'll take it off you, so you can eat the wonderful English tomatoes that are grown especially for us in a Dutch greenhouse that are pink, hard, and have no taste. Great, eh?
Oh my God! What have we done? Oh, what have we done? What have we done? So yeah, just to explain, we're going down to Luxembourg. We should be on the ferry around midnight, I guess, tonight. We're going to live stream as much of this as we can while our lights work and while, you know, we've still got signal and stuff. But we're hoping to get on the ferry possibly around midnight. We'll get into Calais in the small hours. We'll either stay in Calais tonight or...
in an Ibis budget.
Yeah.
No expenses spared.
Hey mate, I slept on a megabus. I slept on a megabus last night.
No.
And tomorrow night I'm probably
I
going to sleep on
stayed last 2 weeks ago in an Ibis budget in Belgium.
Yeah.
I got into the room, I went to sleep, and the drain in the shower was gurgling all night.
Oh.
I don't know what was wrong with it, but I couldn't get to sleep.
Oh God.
So I had to run the shower to stop the gurgling.
You just run the shower the whole time?
Yeah, I left the shower all night. I couldn't sleep. It was 40 euros.
You probably spent 40 euros in water. Oh shit. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, well, so we're doing that tonight, and then tomorrow morning, Luxembourg
for lunchtime.
Pick up your aluminium frames,
Yeah.
and then we'll be heading back to Calais.
Oh, no. I haven't got my customs paperwork yet.
Oh shit.
So if I haven't got that, I can't leave. And if I haven't got
Are you saying I might get stuck in Luxembourg for a week?
Possibly.
You didn't tell me that before I signed up to this.
No, it's Friday.
Yeah.
So customs agents are mainly open Monday to Friday. They're not open on weekends. Same as your customers might be closed on a weekend. So if you've got to put me your customs paperwork on a Friday, you're stuck wherever you are until the Monday.
Oh shit, I've got my tax to pay at the end of the month.
So have I. Don't worry about that.
Oh bloody hell. I am worrying now. Don't have much tax to pay.
But
I don't owe any, it's just me national insurance.
But the new regulation from January was the GVMS, the Goods Movement Reference Number, that the government stupidly implemented for absolutely no idea. But you cannot do the GVMS until you have your customs paperwork, because you need to put the reference number from the import documents into the GVMS. Did you get that?
No, it's all Greek to me, or GPS.
And you have to do it 4 hours before you travel to the ferry, otherwise you won't get on.
It's all GREEK to me. Yes, it's incredibly good. I mean, I'm thinking as well that if you're a driver from Romania or from Bulgaria and you don't speak much English, I mean, this paperwork must be an absolute bloody nightmare.
It's normally the companies that would do it.
Yeah.
So the companies...
But if there's a mistake...
Ah, that's where it gets interesting.
Yeah, because how do they explain what the problem is to the customer, to the whoever's paying them?
If there's in Calais now, or in Dover, if there's a problem with your GVMS or your customs paperwork, you don't get the ferry. Which is, remember, the mayor of Calais said if your paperwork's wrong, you won't be able to get into the port.
Yeah.
Which he was right about, because that's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
So if you've got a problem with your paperwork, if it's that serious, you'll have to go back to where your goods were collected to get the right paperwork, because you have to have that A4 piece of paper in your hand. Yeah.
God.
Unless you find somewhere that can print it off for you. If there is a big enough problem, then yeah, you're going to have to go back to where it came from. You're not allowed in the port.
Oh my God.
Imagine if that's a Friday.
So, but are you serious that we might end up getting trapped in Luxembourg for the weekend?
No, I'll get the paperwork. I'm just going to have to call my customer tomorrow, say, where's my paperwork, I need to leave.
Yeah.
And it might take an hour. But you're still sat there for an hour, when before you didn't need to be. You could just picked it up and gone.
But also, I mean, I've heard that a lot of, we're leaving empty, aren't we? We're just taking these empty boxes.
Empty box, big empty boxes.
Big empty boxes in the back here. That's all we're taking. I'm hearing that a lot of vans, a lot of trucks, a lot of lorries are leaving empty because of the amount of...
Yeah, but you'll never know how many, because the ferry companies will never tell you how many are leaving empty. But there's...
Why not?
They just won't. You'll never find out the true amount you'll never find out how many vehicles are leaving empty.
But what a waste. I mean, it's not just the environmental factor of like lorries driving for miles, being held up in these massive traffic queues for hours, maybe days.
Yep.
With nothing inside them.
Yeah, because you have to queue up with the ones full of stuff.
Do you know what the Tories are really good at? Costing the world money, costing the country money, costing the environment, costing everything for shit that's empty or pointless. Like, there's thousands of miles of old railway tracks in the UK, and of that you've got hundreds of tunnels, hundreds of viaducts, hundreds of bridges that don't have a railway over them anymore, but John Q taxpayer still has to maintain the damn things so they don't fall down and break someone's head or destroy someone's home or make a big hole in the middle of a motorway. And so, because of the Tories in the 1960s ripping up all the train lines, we've now got all this useless infrastructure that's not being used for anything but costing us money. And the same now with trucks, they're leaving empty.
They're leaving empty.
Right. Oh wow, we got a £10 super chat there from John BC. Thank you very much, John BC. God bless you both, Kevin and Graham. Thank you. If you were going past Bruges, I'll wave at you guys. It's just me in videos. We go to Bruges.
We might be staying at the Ibis Budget in Bruges tonight,
yes.
if we get across in time.
Oh come on, let's do that. It's like, I hear it's like a fucking fairy tale.
Not the one. Have you been there?
No, I've only seen the movie in Bruges.
You've never been to Bruges?
No,
you'd love it. I love Bruges. Bruges is good.
Been to Bangladesh, I've been to Bruges. The Great Gammon Curtain. Yeah, the Gammon Curtain.
Absolutely.
Has come down on the United Kingdom. Split us off from our
talking of gammon,
brothers, sisters, cousins across
they're all openly questioning videos of trucks saying they're fake.
Yeah, it's all Adobe After Effects.
It's from 3 years ago. It's fake. It's because of roadworks. One said it's because of external roadworks. What's an external roadwork? Aren't all roadworks external?
Well, you would expect them to be. Maybe not in a tunnel.
That's external. It's above the road surface. External roadworks caused and is causing all of the delays at the moment. It's over. Right. External roadworks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the A20, we'll see some roadworks on the A20 when we drive down there. Yeah.
No. There isn't any.
Yeah. But yeah, so okay, so we might be going to Bruges tonight. Who knows? We don't know where we're going to end up because we might get stuck at Dover for hours.
We literally can't book a hotel because you simply don't know how long you're going to be over there, and you don't know whether you're going to get called into customs in Calais on the way through.
Yeah.
Because big, massive, long 6-metre empty crates generate a lot of interest.
Well, this is why I haven't booked a ticket back to Durham, because I don't know when I'm going home.
I'll be back on Saturday. I'll get divorced if I don't get back on Saturday.
Oh no. Well, I'm not married, so happily that can't happen to
I'm
me.
not either, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I'll get theoretically divorced if I don't arrive home on Saturday. But
Sleep on the couch.
Yeah,
In the doghouse.
Absolutely.
We've all been there. So yeah. So we'll be tomorrow. We're going to be travelling all day, pretty much, aren't we? We're going to be going to
That'll be a fairly long day tomorrow.
City.
North of Luxembourg. Not far from Bastogne.
Bastogne, yeah.
You've been to Bastogne?
Been to Bastogne, but I've been to the town that we're going to is called Troyes something. Troyes something.
It's not far from Germany.
Ibis budget is okay, says Martin.
No, some of them are alright. Some of them are proper moody.
We've got John BC saying, so many gamins still have their tea cozies pulled firmly over their heads and faces, so they don't have to survey the damage they've done. Yeah, the damage they've done.
You know what's important though? The longer we talk about this the way we do, we make it harder for the Tories to try and do whatever they like, which means at one point, I think, we'll end up going back in.
I think what's going to happen in the medium term is that we'll get rid of these cowboys in Parliament at some point. And when that happens, there will be a move for closer integration with the EU. And the most obvious thing to do first is to join the customs union. And then off the back of that, we will eventually rejoin the single market. But what the Tories are doing, and they've been quite clever about this for a Tory, is they've put in these trade deals to stop us, clauses that prevent us, that
makes it harder,
tie the hands of future governments from reversing that trade deal without getting our asses hauled out over to the WTO for breaking the deal, essentially.
Fantastic French water.
Perrier. I thought that was getting banned. They're going to ban French water.
Have I got a banned product in my vehicle?
Probably.
I'm in trouble. Oh well.
Joe, Red Bull used to be banned in Denmark. I don't think it is anymore.
Stuff.
Red Bull was banned.
It should be.
Kinder Eggs are banned in America as well.
Are they?
Despite what Jared says. Yeah, there was a 1930s law saying you couldn't put a toy in candy, and so they regard a Kinder Egg as a toy in candy.
Really?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
So you can get an AK-47. You can get an SR-15 or whatever it's called. You can buy an assault rifle. That's fine, but you can't get a Kinder Egg. You can't get haggis either, because it's got sheep lung in it.
That's it, yeah.
I couldn't get haggis this week. Tried to get haggis for Burns night. Couldn't get any for love nor money.
Why?
Brexit, probably. I don't know. It's sold out. Probably left it too late.
Yeah.
And also in America, you can't get blue cheese.
Going back to the Scottish border question earlier.
Yes, forgot about that.
That would actually be quite an easy border, because your main entry is up the M6 onto the M74, is it?
Yeah.
And then you've got the A1 up to Edinburgh. They're your two arterial roads into Scotland. It would actually be quite an easy border.
Yeah, and there's
obviously you've got your back roads.
Yeah, there's honestly there's only a handful of them. It's not like
it's not many.
Like Northern Ireland. It's
nothing like Northern Ireland.
You've got national parks up there, haven't you? There's not many ways into Scotland without going for a field.
Scotland's got a similar population, I think, to Belgium and Ireland.
Yeah.
They would actually...
Scotland would do great on its own. I mean, if
they had ferry links like the Republic of Ireland's now got, and you weren't reliant on the UK, then they'd be all right. But they need the ferry links to be able to survive, I think.
Oh, there you go. Traverses, it's called. Traverses. I guess you don't say the S at the end, so Traverse. Let's say Traverse. To North Luxembourg. That's where we're going to pick everything up. The A68 is quietest, says Glasgow Kiss, in order to get to Scotland, I think. There's 11.56 million Belgians. That's bigger than the population of Scotland.
Oh, is it 11?
Yeah. I think Scotland's on a par with what? New Zealand or something, maybe?
New Zealand's got...
New Zealand's 4.7 million.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, I've been there.
It's tiny. It's tiny little. But, it's really important that we get a trade deal with...
Great country, though.
Fantastic country.
Love it.
With a really good leader at the moment.
Very good leader.
Who actually cares about the people. that she governs. So much so that she
Oh,
cancels
talking
her
of that
wedding.
part of the world, Liz Truss on a private jet to
Oh
go
yes, did you hear about this afternoon? £500,000
To
taxpayers' money.
to fly on a private jet.
Private jet to Australia. Private jet to Australia. There's 5.4 million Scots, apparently.
5.4. Ireland's the same. I think about 4 or 5 million. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, when you look at populations in Europe and the smaller countries,
Yeah. But that's about right. I mean, that's a good manageable size for a country. I think the UK is too big.
UK is.
The
too
US is definitely too big. To
Yeah.
have one person in charge of 333 million people is insane.
big. Yeah, no, it's crazy.
And I like the idea of having a tapestry of different countries that are all sharing common interests, and they share the big stuff like defence, trade, all the international stuff. When it comes to local stuff, it's all pretty local.
Oh, we're not far from the M20.
Ooh. This is why I think that the UK, the northern cities should break off from the rest of the UK.
Do you know what I haven't seen much of on the road this evening?
Prostitutes.
European trucks.
Ooh. You mean looking at the license plates?
Yeah, there's a distinct lack of them.
That's no good. Alright, should we knock this on the head for a little bit and then we'll come back when we're a bit closer to the action? How long is it going to take?
About 50 minutes.
About 50 minutes. Okay, we're going to be back within the hour with more from, well, if you're still on the road, with more from Two Blokes in a Van, the natural sequel to Three Blokes in a Pub. Although you wouldn't want one to come after the other, because then that would be drinking and driving, which would be a very bad thing to do. So yeah, we'll be back
With a big queue.
We'll be back with a big queue for you. Come and see the queues with Graham Hughes. See what I did there? Right, so yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back soon. Thank you very much for the super chats, and yeah, we'll keep you posted how our journey goes. Getting into Dover. It's kind of dark now, but you should be able to see the lights and stuff.
You see the lights of the trucks.
See the lights, the guiding stars. Anyway, take care. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Where's the third bloke? He's on the back, clinging on for dear life. All right, adios amigos. Bye bye.